What's up, Era and Dina and Cole? Howdy. I'm doing good. How are you? What's up, Blackbird? Welcome back, Cole. Oh my god. Ew. Had to backtrack. What's up, Zach? I have a question. There's a question I left in server. What do you think of it? In blind solving? I mean, Cuberstash's answer is basically what I would answer. It's because rotating in blind is more disadvantageous than rotating for a single PLL alg in blind or in like sighted. Dang it. What did I do? Oh. Recalled one wrong letter. Dude, I'm having hand pain from cleaning frickin' multi-blind cubes. God. Like pain in my frickin' joints. Main non-blind event. I mean, I don't know if I have a main non-blind event. I don't have any decided main. There's some events that I practice more sometimes, and then other events I practice more other times. Lately, the event I practice most not blind is clock. What's up, Tommy? Is that pronounced Tommy or Tommy? I'm guessing it's Tommy. Doing some cookie clicker. Whoa. What's up, the Sand Cuber? That was confusing. pronounced Tomy as in not to me? Honestly, don't understand the point you're trying to make. It's from Thomas? Okay, so Tommy, I guess. Learn about the beans lore, the helicopter lore. Pretty cool, I do have to say. I don't know if I would describe it as cool, but glad you like it. My god. +2 by inspection, just barely. What's up, Raph? Spanish to English? Oh, that's Spanish. I did not expect that. Dude, horrible scramble, oh my god. 12 to 11. Decided to practice 3 blind edges as that's what I'm struggling most with, averaging 8 minutes. You got edges only in sub 2? Huh. Sounds like really good if you average 8. Maybe this is what kind of practice will help a lot. Do you like 5 blind more than 4 blind? Yeah, I think so. What's up, Irma? Welcome. Nice. Those 10 elves. Can having somewhat long fingers hinder exec speed? I always see people turning so fluidly and my solutions look choppy. I don't know. I kind of feel like that for myself. I kind of wonder sometimes if having big hands makes exec harder, but there are people with big hands who have really good exec, like Elliot, for example. Elliot's a big guy. It's probably skill issue, but there might be also like an optimal hand size. Can you recognize LTCT in sighted? You mean like while doing CFOP? Yeah. If you can get LTCT like last layers. I guess you can also get like a LTCT for last slot last layer, but that's like extremely rare. How many cubes do you usually main at comms for multi? It's like 64 or more. Probably typically we'll do 66 at this point, unless the stakes are really high, maybe 64 or 65. If I'm trying to go kind of hard or feeling good that day, I'll do 67. Oh, nice, Irma. I think smaller hands is part of the reason that 3x3 world record holder is really young. Possibly. Although, like, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see when he gets bigger hands. Been reworking all comms, and you've learned optimal UF, U-face, target XYZ. Now learning UF, LU, XYZ, and LF, XYZ. Nice. Fast progress. Let's go. When do you think you'll do 70 plus cubes officially? I'm not sure. Probably do it eventually, but I'd have to either be like very safely doing 70 plus at home, or like get a very good world record first, like 64 plus points or something. Thanks, Eker, sorry. Most cubes I've sub-houred is 69. But the only number I've tried over 69 is 73, so like I could probably sub-hour 70. I've definitely sub-houred 69 with enough time to have 70 fit. I only traced one time, Sandkeeper. Your first sub-hour of 19 cubes was 50-58? Wow, that's cool. Damn. That turning was like kind of bad. How important is it to know letter pairs for multi? Very important. Super, super important, I would say. Dude. That was 8-7. That should have been so much better. Might not chat as much because it won't let me chat when I have CS timer on? Huh. Not sure why that would happen. How do I do this? Oh man. So fast? Sheesh. How long does it take for you to remember what your word is for a letter pair as you are inspecting it? Like 0.1 seconds, probably. You think of bilingual memo strats, audio corners with Spanish-like and edges with English-like? I don't know, it's probably fine. I don't know if it's like necessarily good, like better than what people normally do, but if it works, it's probably fine for you. Is knowing foreflip important for 3-blind? Not really, but at like a really high level, I think it can be useful, but like it's not super important because it's rare. Oof, I missed the timer. It was 11 to 9. Do you make stories out of the words? In 3-blind, not really. I make a sentence out of corners, but it's like barely a story. For edges, I just do audio. For multi-blind, I make stories out of everything. How much more useful is LTCT versus foreflip? LTCT is like, I mean, versus being like perfect with full foreflips, which like nobody is, LTCT is probably like 5 times more useful at least. Yeah, same, flat Mars. It's rare that I can actually save time with it, but if I knew full foreflips well, it would probably be like, yeah, like 1 in 20 solves or something. From a purely return on investment standpoint, def foreflips? Wait, you're telling Blackbird that foreflips are more useful? I totally would disagree. LTCT is so useful. Foreflips are like, they're useful, but it's pretty rare, I would think. Do 1 CFOB solve? Okay. Beware of cringe. Oops. It's funny. It's like barely better than what I global with 3 style. LTCT is so much more effort? Wait, what? Oh, you're comparing to full floating. Oh. Wait, I'm confused, Flat Mars. Are you talking about... I'm confused. Are you saying LTCT is a lot more work than full foreflips? Because full foreflips is like 600 plus cases. Talking like intuitive foreflip stuff, not full foreflips. Oh, well, just knowing like a few foreflips and then setting up to those, I wouldn't like be comparing to knowing full LTCT. It's just like a weird thing, because if you just know like 10 foreflips or something, and I don't even know 10, and then you're like setting up to those only, unless you've like figured out every case and drilled them, which like I haven't, which is like a huge amount of work. I don't know, this is just like it's a hard thing to claim anything about, you know? Oh my god. That scramble is horrible. Intuitive foreflips versus LTCT. The return on investment. I still don't think I can agree with that statement, because unless you put in a shit ton of work to whatever intuitive foreflips means, you're not going to be saving nearly as much time as LTCT. So, like, I don't know how you could claim that. Alright, I'm going to do 3 blind. I'm going to do a prediction right now on what you guys think solve 50 is going to be. You're going to have a lot of time to predict. 10 minutes. Oops. Keep accidentally clicking sub only chat. Get out of here. Yeah, and if you know half a dozen foreflip cases and you're just setting up into those, like, I really don't think you're going to be saving as much time with that as LTCT. Like, not even close. Like, yeah, I don't know. Case in point. Just got a foreflip. Yeah, LTCT is very, very nice. It is hard to learn, but yeah, it's really, really nice. Nice. Thoughts on learning Brew for OH? It's probably smart to do if you're down to do it. Is LTCT like full 2C, 2E? No. LTCT is 252 algs, and it saves more time. Pretty sure. I can't imagine how 2E, 2C would save more time. I mean, maybe it might be like similar. What? Thanks, Taslin. Will doing full floating make me much slower? If yes, then for how long? This is like an impossible question to answer, dude. Like, I have no idea how I would know. I like don't know anything about you. I don't know how I would know. And it like totally depends on like a million different factors. Dude. That was 9-7. Full 2E2C would definitely save more time if you only knew one edge swap for each parity case prior, since you're saving an alg on 25% of solves. But it also depends on like the alg set quality, right? Had some good AO5 potential, threw it away. Damn it, dude. Kind of tempted to put some Moyu lube in this thing. I'm just worried it's gonna make it too fast. But it's like actually getting kind of sluggish. What's up, Cora Leap? At least the UF-UFR set is mostly pretty good and you can force fast cases. Word. Is using index for E-moves criminal? Nah. It's arguably good, depending on the case. But I think usually, like, huge majority of cases, you probably should do middle finger. What did I just do? Wow, can't believe I fixed that, dude. I did an accidental S-slice. This cube is so bizarre. I've never had a cube that, like, I do accidental slices in totally different directions. Like, slices that I wasn't trying to touch. Alright, I'm trying the Moyu lube. I've never put Moyu lube on the V11. Because Moyu lube is fast. And the V11 used to be way too fast. But now, lately, it has been really slowing down. And it's kind of lost the like crunchy feel that I really like, and I feel like the Moyu lube brings that back. See ya, Era. See ya, Eker. Haven't heard of anyone getting really good with full floating in just a few months. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's doable. You just have to practice a lot, like to get to the point where it's actually saving time. Oh my god, dude, that's so annoying. I recalled the inverse of a case, and if I had recalled the correct thing, I would have had a 6-move cancel with J-perm. Even this bad comm is over twice as fast as 2 Y-perms with OP. Yup. Yeah, I don't think it's bad that you're doing bad setups like that. Like, as a 3-style beginner, you'll you'll have bad ideas like that. No offense. You'll have bad ideas like that, and it's normal. And I think it's good to like experiment and get your like intuition built up for 3-style, and then just gradually fix your algs over time. Is floating the equivalent of ZB in terms of how much faster it gets you in 3-blind? Maybe it's kind of similar, I would say, because I feel like a lot of people overestimate how much ZB, like how useful ZB is, given that you definitely like take a hit from recognition compared to just like Tuluk OLL or Tuluk last layer. And full floating definitely doesn't save that much. It saves a bit. Yeah, I don't know. It's comparable, I guess. Damn it. Oh my god, dude. Cool. Also, I will say, full floating is way easier to learn than ZB. Also, Irma, just a word to the wise. If you just say like what letters you're talking about for a case, a lot of people aren't going to know what case you're talking about, including me, because I don't use specs. So referring to the piece locations will make it so I can actually like know what case you're talking about. Ugh. Oh my god. Not sure I've ever dropped a cube like that in 3-blind. %99 of people may use specs, but I don't. Going from M2 to 3-style feels like a much larger time save. Interesting. M2 to 3-style should definitely be much less of a time save than old Pachman to 3-style. Because M2 is like, when you're doing it well, it's borderline commutators. What the fuck? My finger just went inside my cube. Like that. I don't know if you guys saw that. That's a first. I've heard that corner comms are harder, and I like the idea of getting the hard part out of the way. It's funny, I thought corner comms were easier to intuitively understand. Something about like the insertions basically always being like a variation of that, like a that or a mirror of that, just made it easier for me, I think. Or edges can have like a lot of weird different things. Do I use 5-style? No, literally never. I know like several algs, and I've never used a single one. I love having two floating case, like two algs from a floating buffer. It might be like my favorite floating case generally, just because I can visual it super easily. What's up, Wilson? Nice. I'm liking the Moyu lube. Did I DNF one of those? One of those last three? For some reason I feel like I forgot to DNF something. Maybe I didn't. I think the last DNF I got was the 21, which like my finger went in the cube. I think the last Layer King used 5-style in comp. He did. I don't know how many cases he uses, but or that he knows, but I would imagine someone like him is like actively keeping an eye out for 5-style, even if it's like not gonna save him time. Yeah. What? Huh. Oh. I think I did a floating alg wrong. Unless I've missed something, I've only seen him use it when he's setting up into it. Interesting. I'll be honest, I never watched the video where he uses it, but yeah, figured it's probably not saving time, most likely. Oh, like setting up into it, like doing an alg to give him a case that he knows? Is that what he did? Dang it. I just locked up 3 times on one alg. You can't use comms for 5-style? I mean, there might be some 5-style algs that are comms, but I don't know of them. Comms don't necessarily have to do 3 cycles. Comms can do a lot of things. Sexy move is a comm. Fun fact. I guess M prime U prime MU is a comm. So yes, 5-style can be comms. M prime U M U prime is a comm. That does a 5 cycle. What was the comm with the wide F2? It wasn't a comm. It was R2, wide F2, R2, U prime. R2, wide F2, R2, U prime. So it's just 4 moves times 2. Does the difficulty of learning 3-style floating compare to difficulty of learning 3-style in general? Kind of. I feel like learning full floating is easier than first learning like not floating 3-style, because full floating you already like know basically all of the pure comms you're ever going to be setting up to, so you're just learning a bunch of setup moves. Nice. That was 8 with a floating 2 flip. See ya, Tommy. Oops. Damn, I did that thing again. What is happening? Weird. Wow, totally thought I messed that up. Isn't there a thing where you mix up cases kind of with floating? I had that happen occasionally early on with floating where, like, for example, let's say you have this case, UB BR LF, which is just R prime into an RE8 mover. Sometimes I would do U prime interchange instead of U. So like, so if I have to do, if I have to do here to here, I would instead do here to here to here, like that, just because that like feels natural. The last layer king thing is like, if 2E2E was some super weird rare alg set and you posted a vid saying using 2E2E in comp when you're using it for a weak swap floating parity. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, accidentally did the UF version of the com, pretty much. Damn. Alright, I gotta bring back guessing my times. Same vibe as learning Spanish and then learning Italian and confusing them? Yeah, that sounds honestly really similar. I hate myself, dude. I had this, and I did 2 comms. I hate that. I realized it like half a second after I did it. Also, I forgot to guess the time. Rip. Dude, one thing when I was learning French that was so hard for me to stop doing was saying E instead of eh. So like and in French is eh, and in Spanish is e. And I learned Spanish in high school, and then when I was learning French, I just kept saying e instead of eh. It was so frustrating over and over and over again. It took like months to stop doing that. What? Oh, wow, that's funny. I know what I messed up. I sliced the wrong way. Dude, sometimes these like... So like UL, BL, LD still mess up the slice directions on these sometimes. Where you do like L, U prime setup, for example. I feel like just because I just did a U prime, it feels wrong to do an E afterwards. So my brain like wants to do an E prime. Oh my god. You love these cases? Some of them are good. Some of them I just never mess up. I feel like if the wide move is first, like the cancel wide move thing, like in UR-FR-RD, I really like that case. But I almost always mess it up if the wide move is at the end. I'll mess up the slice direction in the beginning. Huh? I don't know. Ah. Damn it, dude. +2. It was like right at the end, I like felt my finger get in the way. Are you late? A little bit. Don't let it happen again. Do you mostly rely on muscle memory at this point? Mostly, I would say, yeah. But I still rely on intuition to an extent, like for most most 3-style algs. Damn it, dude. Yeah, basically what Flatmar said. You can do both, and it's probably good to do both, especially in like multi-blind, so you have like a backup of your intuition if you lock up and lose muscle memory. Oh my god. What? I just mistraced corners like 5 times. I thought I had a twisted corner. I was like convinced for a second. Do I think you're annoying? No. Oh. Rip. Oh, we got a raid? Sorry, I'm not listening to my headphones right now. Oh, Evie, thanks for the raid. How was your stream? I am over here practicing some blind events. Welcome. Rip. Wow, I think I made 2 mistakes on that solve. Rare. What's up, Sai? Yeah, we also have a prediction going on solve 50 of this session, whether or not it'll be sub 18 or a successor DNF. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. I feel like I just got home from work and it's already time for bed. Damn. That's a bummer. Jobs suck. Jobs like that suck. Huh? Oh. Wow, another solve with 2 mistakes. My accuracy is bad today. I'm getting successes on the slow times only. Not in general, but... Yeah, sorry, I meant J word. J asterisk B. Why did you name your channel Siglig rather than your name like on YouTube? I don't know. YouTube is like kind of more public facing, I guess. Oh my god. Sub 20. Insane. You get work from home on Fridays at least? Pog. Ooh, that was cool. I did a parody shift and I canceled from the parody into the last calm. If you were paid 1 million to get 100 3-blind successes in a row, what do you think your average time would be? I don't know. Maybe like a minute. Looked like a lot of moves. That's probably pretty average. Dang it. What method do I do? 3 style. I do full floating 3 style actually with also LTCT. Doing comms for X centers. A buffer, I don't know what that is. UBL, I guess. 1 single rotation for B until F, and then 6 rotations in G. I don't know what any of this means because I don't use specs. How much better is top 3 WCA 3 style versus just FF LTCT? Confusing question. How much do you gain from other more exotic techniques? I don't know. At a Tommy level, if Tommy stopped using full floating and LTCT, he'd probably add like maybe a second to his global. Oh. Can I stop pausing, please? Negligible. What question are you answering that I didn't understand? Techniques beyond FFLTCT. Oh. That's not what I understood the question to be asking. Beyond full floating and LTCT, yeah, probably like fraction of a second. Rip. Alright, I gotta lock in for frickin' Salt 50. It's coming up. Keep forgetting to predict times. It's really hard to remember to do for some reason. Dude. Floated into a 4-flip and I had an 8-mover. I had that. And then I freaking messed up LTCT. Somehow managed to backtrack and fix it. Oh my gosh, I did a good solve. I think that was 11 to 9. Flipping 4 corners, it's 4 edges. How do you average on normal 3x3? Like 10. Dude. That was a nice 9 Alger, and I somehow got order of frickin' audio pairs mixed up, I think. How do you float in 3 style? Yeah, you do comms from another buffer. Hello, it's PM at 12 o'clock in Korea. Hello, PM 12 o'clock in Korea. Ha 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 ha. Got him. Three-style and Xers is surprisingly easy. I'm always telling people this. They don't listen. I'm always telling people. You said you don't rotate the cube like you would for OP. Someone in the chat said that. I don't know, like, what you're responding to. Also, who rotates for old Pacman? I'm confused. I don't rotate in 3-blind except for in like very rare cases, and who rotates in OP? I'm just confused what you're asking. Oh my god, dude. What? Oh. Still proud you did 6-blind with U2 M2 OP. Yeah, that is hard mode 6-blind, I would say. I'm saying for floating. To float in OP, you would rotate to switch buffers. I'm asking how you float in 3 style. I mean, you wouldn't have to float to switch buffers in OP. And in 3 style, you do comms from a different buffer without floating? I don't know how else to answer this. You seem to have it in your head that you have to rotate to use a different buffer, but that's just not the case. Dude, oh my god. I feel so unfocused. Gotta lock in. Solve 50 is coming up. Oh my god, what? Dude, that scramble is crazy. Wow. Well, I should have done that too, flip. I just didn't recognize it. I actually had a... wait. I guess I could have done a BD comm and then a 4 flip with... it would have been this 4 flip and then 3 UR comms. That was a really confusing scramble. I don't know how I would ever catch any of that. How do you handle a scramble with lots of twists? You just gotta learn how to solve the twists optimally. Is the scramble that you sent what you're talking about? Well, here. Scramble sucks. Okay, so for me, the way I would solve this, you've got these 2 twisted and these 2 twisted. This is a floating 2 twist. And you would just recognize that that's a floating 2 twist. And I have an alg to solve that floating 2 twist. And then for this, I guess I would do here to here and then break there. And then I would have an LTCT. This is a really nice LTCT case. But in your case, probably just break into both of those flips because it's a 3 twist. And you just have to learn to recognize 2 twists versus 3 twists if you want to learn to solve it optimally. Oh my god. So I got a freaking mechanical twist. So annoying. Oops, I accidentally did some kind of hotkey to give me square 1 scrambles. That's funny. Okay, James and or Flat Mars, do that scramble and do the pre-move and tell me what you get. I'm so annoyed, dude. Killiminks blind when? I don't know. don't know if I'll ever do that. Maybe eventually. What's up, German lift waffle? You threw? Damn. Sick at the moment? Or get well soon. Dude, so frustrating. I'm locking up so much and it's like 90% just like my fingers getting in the way of layers. Big hand curse. I do not understand this language. Please speak English in chat. YouTube chat specifically. Don't be annoyed. It's tough, man. At least you can solve it blindfolded. This isn't a very helpful thing to tell somebody when they've put 11 years, 10 years, whatever, into this. You struggle with pre-moves compared to post-moves? Oh. Alright, I'm locking in. Dude, I locked up and dropped the cube on the fucking last alg. That would have been sub 18 success. It definitely would have been. I'm so annoyed, dude. I had UFL, UBR, BUL, and I was like doing that and somehow dropped it with like 3 moves left. Really off topic and maybe something already well known, but I just realized Sexy Sledge is a block comm. Wow. I'll take block comms that I will never ever recognize in an actual solve for 500 Alex. Anyways, sorry to the believers. You're welcome, disbelievers. Oh, nobody predicted over 18 DNF. That's funny. I'm just gonna delete it, I guess. Delete and return points. Well, rip. Alright. 3 blind is annoying. Let's do some 9 cube multis. J-perm is a block comm. It's a block parity alg. See ya, Airmo, thanks. Realizing that breaking into a flip is the same as floating the flipped piece and breaking into a cycle. Something that I do lately, occasionally, is like, let's say, sometimes, so like, wait, how do I do this? Okay, so this is a good example. So right now I have UF, LU, FR, and that's flipped, my flipped buffer. So you would just like go to UB, FL, and then DR, BU. But one thing you can do to get better cases, if you recognize that the UB floating case, even though it's a flip cycle, it's UB FLDR, which is really nice. So just do that like right off the bat in the beginning of the solve, and you can visual memo the float, and just remember that that's going to be flipped, and then break into that flip. Like massively better cases. The more you know. It actually like gives you, it's actually such a nice thing when it lines up right. It will give you better cases and give you some visual memo that you wouldn't have had otherwise. Do lefty sexy sledge for the block com you might use. Oh, okay. Interesting. I still feel like I'll just never recognize that in actual solve. It's like the curse of like, unless you know the full set, you're just never gonna realize it. I do that sort of thing sometimes when I track buffer orientation wrong. That's funny. Yeah, you can do that in cases too where like, let's say you have like, I don't know, let's say... Wait. Oops. What am I doing? Oh, that's what I did wrong. What am I doing, dude? Okay, that is it. So, in this case, we have UF, LU, BL, shitty case, and then you would probably break maybe to like here, and then you have FL, BR, and then RF, LF. There's like one good case in all of these. And then if you just recognize that you can just do a 4-mover, then you can IDK do that. IDK, bro. Those are bad cases to end with, but you get a 4-mover. That was the whole point. You barely break into flips normally? Wow, James. Unbased. What did German ask? Do you use CFOP if you're not doing blind? I don't know why this person responded. I mean, this is a vague answer. I almost always do CFOP cited because I average like 10.5 with CFOP. I average like 11.5 with 3-style. But on some scrambles, I use 3-style because it's good for 3-style. Hey man, I cannot read that language. Please speak English in chat. Thanks. I already told you this. Maybe you don't speak English, but if that's the case, sorry, bro. Alright, I'm actually scrambling now. You don't break into them for multi, so I don't care about doing it in 3 blind. That is very multi-brained, but also I break into flips in multi almost always. Fun fact. So, not a super satisfying answer for me, because I can just say, just do it in multi. Forehead. Does YouTube not automatically translate languages to English anymore? Does it do that in chat? I've never seen that. But also I'm using Restream chat, so... Not breaking into flips on odd with weak swap is diabolical. I'm sure he does it then. but I do it like almost always, even on even, like without parity. How do you keep motivation after bad result / session? I don't know. I just do. If you're really having a bad day with a certain event, just do a different event. Or wait till tomorrow. Are you doing it in exec or in memo? Usually in memo, sometimes in exec. It kind of varies. It super slows down your think ahead. Yeah, that's just not really a thing for me. I mean, breaking into flips is like so natural for me at this point. Probably from doing it for so long in 3 blind. I just don't think it's a problem. Someone in blind cord told you to break into flips way before learning full floating. I mean, you can do whatever. Both things are going to help you. You don't have to. It's not like you're fucking up by learning full floating before doing that, but like just do both things. Why not? Also, Blackbird, we get it. You're learning full floating. It seems like you like want to bring this up like as much as possible. We get it. You're learning full floating. It's like a flex for you at this point. What's up, Cubert? Okay. Let's go. I might have just messed up a 2 flip. Dang it. Dude. Oh my god. I just made another exec mistake. Oh. Damn it. That's so funny, dude. I thought I messed up that 2-twist, and I think when I tried to fix what I messed up, I actually ended up just backtracking. That's so funny. This is 2 mistakes, probably both on recall. That's so funny. Okay. 7 out of 9. Pretty close. Sup, Abhijit? I thought you were just saying for a second while reading that, James, I thought you were just saying that you got 57 cubes finished in 44 minutes. I was like, what? Is this a typo? But you meant memo, I just realized. Wow, we only got a very small percentage of people betting on 7 out of 9 or better. That's funny. RIP. I wonder who lost. I didn't look. Alright, new prediction. Oops. There. Realized afterwards you wrote it down. Also, I broke into a flip with no parity on that. And I did it in memo. I think I just, like, kind of have, like, an intuition, kind of. So, like, I don't retrace. but I just have like an intuition when I know that one option is about to give me like a weird story that is going to be hard to memo, and I'll just break into the flip in that case in memo, because it feels likely that it'll give me something that's easier to memo. Just doesn't feel worth it to you. Yeah, I'm curious if that would ever change if you just got super used to breaking into flips in 3 blind. I was thinking about that type of like super deep word familiarity intuition the other day. Yeah. I feel like with doing like thousands and thousands of solves, at a certain point you just like develop an intuition to do things a certain way, and I have that to like an extent for some things, and that's one of those things, I think. Yeah, dude, that kind of thing that you're saying, Tao, I feel like is one of the big reasons why learning full floating words is so hard, because you just like, you don't have that automatic like guessing ability with all the new words. Yeah, James. Yeah, exactly, Tao. That's one of like the hardest parts, I think. One of the things that makes it most difficult. Also, get your bets in. You got 2 minutes to bet on the next 9 cube result. I seem to be averaging 7 out of 9 lately. It's funny because you were saying you averaged 7.5 out of 9, and I was like, really? Wow, that seems so good, Tao. But lately, it does seem like that's probably what I'm averaging. 7, 7, 6, 8, 9, 9. Let's see. Over 25. 7, 7, 6, 8, 9, 9. I guess I could just check the multi-blind result, actually, AO25. Although, it would give me an AO25, not a mean of 25. I want to see the actual mean. I'll just add it up. 9, 7, 6, 8, 9, 9. 8, 7, 8, 7, 9, 9. Oh, I forgot to enter it for that one. Rip. I'll just do out of 24 then. 5, 8, 8, 6, 5, 9. 8, 8, 6, 5, 9. Oops. And then 8, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7. My last 4 have been 7, that's funny. Over 24. I'm averaging 7.37. Wow, I guess I'm really similar to you, Tao. Out of the last 25, I averaged 7.37, except slightly inaccurate because I didn't enter one. I think I'm averaging around 315 split these days. Okay. Sorry for not chatting for a while I got banned from YouTube for the stupid AI thing. I mean, you never have to apologize for not chatting. Probably watched you do more 3 blind solves than I've ever done. That's funny. Good moment to learn 4 blind and 5 blind? Whenever, yeah. As soon as possible, I guess. Alright. No dupes. Okay. I duped a cube on a 9 cube attempt yesterday. Huh. Well, I already made a one-move mistake anyways. Damn, that had good potential. Rip. Overcome OCD, it's killing your times. What are you talking about? When he fixes the 8-pack formation between every cube memoed? Oh yeah, I don't think that really wastes time. I wouldn't do it otherwise. Because it's not like I stop thinking about memo while I'm doing that, you know. But GG's believers. My accuracy is okay today. I do feel like I'm making a lot of little exec blips though. Alright, we go again. Do you think I should change my channel point currency to RS3MV5s? I feel kind of sad getting rid of GTSs, but they're so irrelevant at this point. GTS is iconic. It's gonna get to a point where there are more people in chat than not who don't know what a GTS is, Sag. Not sure if I had the heart. I would have the heart to gamble away V5s. But you have the heart to gamble away GTSs? Alright, I might have misscrambled some of those. Oh, that's not a duplicate. Okay, it looked like it. They can learn, yeah. Oh yeah, people moved away from GTS 3M, so just the term GTS is gonna fall into irrelevancy soon. RIP. RIP. Get your bets in. You got 2.5 minutes. Yo, Shivam, you got your 3x3 PR single on a GTS V1 this weekend? Wow, holy based, dude. Is that your main 3x3 right now? Shocking. You don't know what a GTS is? You started cubing in 2022? I mean, that makes sense. GTS, it's the first cube in the GTS line, the Waylong GTS line. I actually have some right here. Hopefully this isn't loud on my desk. This is a GTS. GTSs are so old that they are pre-factory magnetizing. I remember having to magnetize my own GTS. They came out like maybe like a year before magnetizing cubes became like a thing people started doing, and then like it was still a while after that that companies started factory magnetizing things. If you have a double and multi, will you call it out or just think easier memo? If you just think easier memo, you are cheating, so you shouldn't do that. Most iconic speed cube? I feel like it's the Oolong or the Zhanchi, something like that. Zhanchi probably, because it's like still going to this day. First cube to be magnetized too? The GTS, or the GTS. I don't think that was ever factory magnetized, was it? Not that I know of. I think the GTS 2 was magnetized, factory magnetized. That might have been the first. But there's probably other companies ever doing it. Is the prediction time over? Almost. Get your bets in. 30 seconds. Holy crap. Dude. People are learning. We had like almost nobody betting on 7 out of 9 or better last time, and now almost nobody betting on 6 out of 9 or worse. That'd be so funny if I get 6 out of 9 or worse now. Didn't JPerm use that cube before the JPerm cube? No idea. I don't really know anything about JPerm. I don't know if I've ever watched one of his videos. First cube to ever be magnetized, period, not factory magnetized? Oh, maybe. Possibly. It is an easy cube to magnetize because you can just like take the caps off. Dude, this was actually a thing. Oh my gosh. This was a thing in my GTS era. So like my 59 out of 60 world record, that was my GTS era. I mean, my GTS era was like the first 4 years of being relevant in multi. But my first ever 60 pointer, 62 out of 64, yeah. I had a cap fall off and I put it back on wrong. It was after that that I glued all the caps on. But yeah, that would have been a 63 out of 64 for the first ever 60 plus pointer. Glue for magnets? Just crazy glue usually. I think crazy glue is pretty good. Alright, I'm gonna start. probably DNF that. Dude. Come on. Oh, come on, dude. Dude, please. I think it's gone. Rip. Oh. Rip. Dude. Exactly what I predicted, dude. Sorry to the believers. Damn, James. Always freaking winning, dude. Never not winning. How does he do it? We go again. Huh. 3 corners on that one? Oh. I think I know what that was. That was recall. Freaking 3 blind cube, dude. So stupid. Alright, get your bets in. I was winning a lot when I first started doing prediction on Twitch. What happened, bro? Hero's nemesis. He always wins. I always lose. What's up, D. Roseling? Meow. Get your bets in, get your bets in. Been too lazy to have gut feelings on predictions? What? Too lazy to have gut feelings. Oh wait. I did a B3. Does that help? Or does that count, Zach? I was doing a multi-attempt in front of a window shade, and the alignment of the shade to the frame of the window behind it wasn't perfectly parallel, so when I moved my head to go pick up the cubes for short term, the stitching pattern caused a bunch of movement in the way I could see the light. And it was a massive... You thought it was a massive bug, and you lost a solid half minute trying to calm down. That's so funny. One time... I think I had like a strand of hair fall onto my face just like randomly. Like, I think it startled me because I was just like executing, and then like just out of fucking nowhere a strand of hair fell onto my face, and I thought it was like a spider falling onto me, and I like freaking freaked out and took the blindfold off, and I couldn't find a spider anywhere. I'm like pretty sure it was just like my hair falling on my face. That was fun. Good times. Alright, 1 minute left to predict. Get your bets in. Oh yeah, I forgot to mark 6 out of 9. That was good memo. Damn, dude. Come on. Not good, but like better than a lot of them. come on. Ah. Huh. That's a tracing mistake. Wow. Yeah, that's a tracing mistake. That's weird. Rare. Everything recalled correctly. Oh well. Doesn't matter for the prediction. Thought 7 was going to fail at that pause. Oh yeah, I was a little unsure about one pair. Just solve, I gotta go to bed. Good way to get yourself blocked. You're annoying. Just solve the cube, you monkey. How many maglev V5s do you have? 8. Next big multi-stream? I don't know. Maybe tomorrow? I'm not really sure. Oops, forgot the prediction. I'm gonna need like at least a few more days to finish cleaning out all my multi-cubes. I may just do an attempt with them not fully done. Just don't want to do that, but might do it. Honestly, kind of tempted to break out the Yushin Little Magics and do an attempt with those. Alright, there's a new prediction. Wait. Oh no, I didn't do the new prediction. Alright. I want to get 1 9 out of 9. Get your bets in. Yo, Taslin. I think that's a fair bet. My accuracy has been decent. I will try my best. Keep so much of my parents asleep next room that started to sometimes stop the timer without letting go of the cube to make less noise. This is going to bite me in the ass comp one day. I do that all the time when I am not using stack mat. That's typically how I practice when I don't use stack mat. But you can just like hit the timer like a little slowly if you want to like try to counteract the time save that you may not rightfully get from it. If you don't get this, I'm selling my house of GTS V1s. Oh no. Okay, get your bets in. Keep getting like jump scared thinking I got a dupe, but I didn't. Okay. You got 3 minutes to bet. Get those bets in. Get them in. Come on, go, go, go. I will start with 2 minutes left. How's my cat? She's doing good, I think. What's up, Plasma Taurus? We got 89% of people betting 7 out of 9 or better. How much of that is just Taslin? Sentient Longbar bet 4K. Wow. On 7 out of 9 or better. James betting the odds. Classic. 800 GTSs on 6 out of 9. It could happen. Could happen. Solar eclipse in gag? What? What? Haven't seen her in the room this stream. Yeah, I don't know where she is. She might be in the bedroom. Find it funny how the pool varies from attempt to attempt. I feel like it's just like kind of random because some people will just like randomly decide I'm going all in on doubt. You know, it's like too few people to ever like actually make sense. All right, get your bets in. I'm gonna start. This dude, I duped fucking scramble. The last scramble. Oh my god. Alright, this is the hand scramble. That's so dumb, dude. That would have been sub... That, like... I'm 90% sure that would have been... freaking sub 5. That's so annoying. Also, you're welcome, Taslin. I find the little repositioning he does to the cubes after each memo so intriguing, like the cubes are gonna get away or something, so he puts them back into place. I don't know, I just feel like I need to. It would bother me if they're not, like, organized well. Have you ever tried the belt method? No. I'm gonna do one more. I feel like I'm actually, like, memoing decently right now. Cube 3 looks very interesting. Cube 3 was just 6 alg edges, normal, and then 3 alg corners with 2 floats. If you're talking about that cube. Cube 2 was a weird one. This was actually a very weird one. I feel like people like Tao or Simon would like seeing this. This was a case where I definitely did like not an optimal solution. Also, there's a new prediction up. I didn't mention that. Get your bets in. But this scramble is bizarre. And the way I handled it was like not ideal, but still like not bad, I would say. Hopefully Tao is still here. I just sent it in chat. So I traced here to here to here, and that's not my buffer, but it's like the pseudo buffer. So I was like, okay, I'll float. And then when I went to float UB, I was like, oh, these are kind of like pseudo two flipped. So like my buffer is flipped in place in UR, and that's flipped in place. So I was like, okay, let's just like, I just naturally was like, let's just call that a two flip, and then I'll float FR. And then it ended up being parity from FR in like really bad cases. So I had like first one UF comm, this two flip, and then FR, BR, LD, and then BD, DR, and that's the FR buffer flipped piece. So then you have a basically like an F2E here, which is like horrible. So basically it would have been best if I just what should I have done? I basically should have treated this as my buffer, or not as my buffer basically, and then broke to here ideally, so it would have been like there to there to there, and then that flip. I guess I could have done like a float into a four flip here. So like ideal, well, my solution was UFCOM two flip, four FR comms, and then FR parity, which is 6 algs. Kind of sucks considering you're doing a floating two flip and 4 FR comms. But ideally it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. No, that should have been, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 UF comms, and then 5, 6. Wait, no, I shouldn't have done that. How would I do that? I don't even know. Whatever. Oh, but then corners also had a double parity thing. So I had this 2 swap and this LTCT. So I did that and that. I think without knowing cases in advance, what you did is correct. Yeah, me too. Also, get your bets in. You got 1 minute. I rambled for 4 minutes about that one scramble. Do another 11 by 11 blind solve. I think I can pretty confidently say I will never do that again. Like if somebody beat my time, I don't know if I would ever even be motivated in any way to do that again. Moral of the story is creativity is bad for you? Wait, what? Did I miss some messages? Creativity is good. I feel like the more I've gotten into multi, like the more I ascend the mountain of multi-wisdom, the more I'm just like, creativity is key. Alright, no duplicates. Can't believe I duped the frickin' 3 blind cube, dude. I think your 11 blind record will stand longer than Enix did. Possibly. I feel like I probably would have done the same thing if I floated. Okay, cool. Should I do 10 cubes? Why not? Learn floating F2E? Yeah, totally. Yeah, pretty much Tau. I feel like a kind of intuition can help, but only to an extent. Alright, here we go. Would be a miracle for that one to be solved. Come on. Wow. I'm shocked I actually got that one. Okay. Wow, Memo was so bad. Holy crap, dude. I had to, like, do extra review on, like, 3 different cubes or something. GG's believers. Yes. Might have to start changing it to 8 out of 9 or better. I think I'm gonna be done. That one is 1 move, looks like. Maybe more than 1 move. Actually, no. Weird DNF. 2 edges, 5 corners. Could be an exec thing. Oh, it is exec. It's just a really weird exec mistake. I had this case, UBR, DBR, DFR, and I think I did that at the end, and I tried to backtrack and fix it, but I think I messed it up. It was tougher when you had to pick exact number of solves. Yeah, there's just like too few people for that. Should I read this whole conversation that James and Tao are having? I don't know, it's kind of a long convo. I might read it after I end stream, but yeah, I gotta go. Probably not, okay. It might not be any enlighteningness to me. Real word I just said, by the way. Enlighteningness. Jasper Jazzy Pants. Haven't rated Jasper in a while. What's 9 world best? 9 out of 9 world best is 425 by Simon Preshil. Wait, what? Did I just type prediction Jasper Jazzy Pants? That's funny. the weird case you messaged me about before? Oh, okay. Yeah, in town I've talked about that in stream, actually. Thanks for watching, everybody. No bias whatsoever. I think James and I's combo is very cool. I'll check it out. Alright, thanks for watching. See ya tomorrow. Thank you for watching the stream, Taslin.